There it be.
Tell him about the pizza.
Who?
All right.
Well, I've got a pizza cookie I got to take out in a minute, so I'll have to get up and do it.
You better go. We run the commercial right now. So go ahead. You go.
It's going to be during the thing. I'll have to get up.
That's fine. Hey, we live. Everybody knows. Hey, you get run around. Y'all packing for the trip. So.
Well, we started school, so we got to be in the bed by 8 and trying to get.
I understand. I understand. There it is. There you go. Well, Scott Seals and Greg Hammett jumped right out the gate.
Deal.
Everybody's packing, getting ready for the trip. Dippy Kids Tournament. Old Ronnie McKenzie's tuned in. We had some people sitting on go. When I pushed live, they were on it, buddy. How y'all doing down there in Andalusia?
Doing good. Doing good.
Doing good.
We talked before about, I just forgot how hectic it was trying to go. And I mean, we're not really fishing. We're not going to fish in the tournament, but just getting everything together to try to be successful when you go take somebody fishing, and jumping into a new boat and getting everything sorted.
Oh, yeah.
It was a busy day, to say the least. And,
oh, yeah. Well, you've been packing. I got this picture to share right here. Look at there.
yes. That's all rod and reels for the kids tournament and tackle boxes. There's nothing behind there. And, man, oh, man. We're taking a bunch of stuff down there. It's exciting.
That's a blessing, man. Look at all that stuff. Them kids going to be lit up. That's like a, man, look at that.
Are you going?
What's that?
I said, are you going?
Yeah, I'm leaving early in the morning. Going to load up and head down that way myself.
Tonight, we're doing a giveaway tonight, Shane. So that's another
that's right. Hey, that's good, yeah. It's hard for me to keep up with it. Oh, that's right, y'all. John was gone last week, and I had Patrick Stone on here, so we're all back together now. So
I'm going to give away one of these shirts. It looks just like this. We'll announce it later on in the show. www.fishoutlaw.com will be what you need to enter into the comment line once we get ready, and Jessica will call out a number, and we'll pick somebody to win a T-shirt, and we'll ship it out to them.
Oh, yeah. That'll be good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. Old Country Cousin Greg, he's tuned in. I missed him. He's staying busy, I'm sure. So when is that thing starting Saturday, John?
Daylight.
That's what I thought. Okay.
It'll actually start well before daylight because there'll be a pile of people putting in there at Hubbard's Landing. A lot of people get there early, got to buy their minnows or their whatever they want to get to go out on the water. That's Hubbard's, HUBBARD' Landing in South Alabama.
Yeah.
The Dippy Outdoors Kids Tournament. So I've got two kids that are from down there that I'm taking out with us first thing that morning.
Yeah.
And I told them to get there, just right after daylight or right there at daylight and get on the
What
boat.
time is that? That 5:45, 6 o'clock?
That's when I told them. I said if they could be there at 5:45 to get on the boat, if everybody leaves us, ahead of us, that's fine. We're just going out to have a good time and take those kids fishing and don't get me wrong. Nothing would thrill me more if Creek or one of those there's twin boys that Jessica and I are taking. Nothing would thrill us more if one of them caught the biggest fish.
Oh yeah.
But we're certainly not treating it like a tournament where you got to try to outrun everybody to your spot and all that.
I understand. Yeah.
But we got the boat to do that now, though.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly how you got the Cadillac, baby. Old water Cadillac.
It's not. I mean, it's probably not as fast. It probably couldn't run as fast as our other boat, but old heavy old Ranger will go.
Oh yeah. You've had it up to 70 or 71, and you just now started toying with it, right, John?
Yeah, I just started playing with it. Jessica will never go that fast. I promise.
I remember that. Boy, hey, I remember when we fished last October together. We went upriver. You got about 50. She was she was pretty mad after we caught all that fish. So I remember.
Now, don't get me wrong. If we were going somewhere and we needed to pass somebody, she would just kind of. She wouldn't look. She know we were going over 60, 65. She know we were going over 65 or so, and she wouldn't say anything because she's that competitive.
Right. I understand. Hey, she'll get in there with you. She's been on them rainy, cold. Lord, I guess she's done all that. So.
Yeah.
I know when we fished that Wise Lake tournament, when I first met y'all a few years ago, that was the wettest. God.
Yeah. We got airborne in that tournament.
Yeah, it was rough. I fished with Ryan Willis, and we got wet. God. Wet. Well, let's see what's going on in the crappie world. Like I said, I already shared that. Back of John's truck's loaded down for the Dippy Kids tournament Saturday.
That's all. The bottom and back behind that's all rod and reels and tackle boxes for to give away to the kids.
How many total you got in there, John? Do you have any idea?
There's 143 rods and reels in there.
Good Lord.
I think it's 14 tackle boxes. Another person that listens to CrappieKast has got 10 more rod and reels, and then 10 more tackle boxes. But I guess it's a good time to say this. The majority, I'd say the majority of those rod and reels and tackle boxes, the money that came to buy those things came off of listeners of CrappieKast.
That's pretty strong, man.
I mean, that speaks volumes of the people that, we have listen every week. It's pretty amazing. Now,
oh yeah, that's a big deal, guys. I know people are Venmo and sending money and this, that, and the other, and I know they're expecting 200 kids, and we were talking at one show. If you got some left over, all they do is carry over the next year. It's not like it's or carry over to some kids somewhere. So,
I'd like to. Everybody donated what they could, but every year that we have ever done anything, Alpha Plumbing, he's got the heart of gold.
Oh yeah, if it comes down to them kids, he's gonna do it now. So.
But it was so many people contributed. Some people bought a rod, some people bought 10, some people don't. 15, whatever they could do, and it's amazing to see the heart that people have and when they do this kind of stuff. But where it really pays back, and Jessica and I are going to have some pictures from it, is when you see the smile on those kids' faces when they get that rod and reel and when they get to go in there and weigh in a fish. A lot of those kids have never, like the kids we're taking, they're used to fishing from the bank. Last year, we met one of the little boys that we're taking out, and he caught a fish from the bank, and he weighed it in. Jessica just figured that out. That's who we're taking.
Okay.
She's taking a pizza of a creek, and she's like, "That's him." I was like, "Oh yeah, him and his brother are going with us."
That's good.
Saturday morning, and it's like I told Creek. I said, "Buddy," I said, "you get the opportunity to fish whenever you want to." I said, "These two young men are getting to go out on the boat, and this might be the only time they get to go out all year."
That's right. That's right. A lot of people, I fish for the bank, and hey, I was happy to do it, and hey, when you get a chance to jump in a boat, it's like hitting the lottery for a kid, I hope I get some in there. I got plenty of life jackets. I got a big boat. I don't care if I don't do nothing but ride them around. So, I'm going to try to load some up myself. So, and hopefully do that. But let's see what else. I need to remind him about this. They're going to dedicate that pier at Roland Cooper State Park to James Big Daddy Lawler on August the 20th.
Oh, wow.
I meant to, I shared that, and Governor Ivey's going to be there. I think his niece is going to speak, and a few other people. Hopefully we'll have good weather for that, but they're going to rename that pier right there at Roland Cooper for Big Daddy. So that's going to be interesting.
That's awesome, because he was probably one of the most instrumental parts of getting that done.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody in that community knew him, and the fishing industry around there knew him. And Shane, how many times did he talk about that pier getting built and other
pier in Bridgeport, and
Yeah.
then him and Kay Donaldson speaking for the ABT, the Alabama Bass Trail, and she's the Demopolis Landing. There's a bunch of landings that they really ramped up, because she said, hey, I can't bring 250 boats or 100 boats down there if you don't have a nice facility for me to, Lincoln Landing. They built that up in Logan Martin for that. I mean, that's there's plenty of money and funds through here, and we just got to direct it towards stuff like this. Everybody benefits from it. And, I will say this. I put in, John, you do too, a lot of Corps engineer launches. And, the one I put in at what's the name of that? Holly? What's the name of that one down in Lowndes County? Holly.
in Lowndes County?
Yeah, I can't remember the one I put in.
Ground?
Holy Ground, yeah. I mean, I told the lady, I was like, ma'am, I said, there's no trash. The grass is cut. The bathrooms are clean, and it's out in the middle of nowhere, So, I was like, man, y'all keep these things up, and that's the way we want to keep them. So, what's she doing over
there? There's some funny comments. There's some funny comments.
Oh yeah, I see them. She's catching up on the comments. Jamie Hall said my wife and her office will be down there for the dedication. She works for the state park. That's right. I remember Jamie telling us at the fish fry. Sure enough, but I guess I can tell about John. I guess you went. Did you go? You just went and put some hours on your boat. You really didn't fish a lot, did you?
Oh no, you know me. I saw him at it.
Tell them about everybody. I meant to get that picture, John. I'm gonna get it real quick.
All right, I'll talk.
I'm gonna turn my phone on and
I'll talk later.
Get it off your page.
So basically, Jessica and I bought an older Ranger boat, and we had a goal, or probably me more than her. I had a goal in mind what I wanted, and so I wanted a new trailer under it, and we got that. A big shout out to AMW Trailers out of Panama City. So AMW Trailers in Panama City can build you a boat trailer out of aluminum I-beams for any boat that you've got. So they run into a lot of issues, of course, being on the Gulf Coast, where trailers get rusted out and people need a new trailer for their boat. You pull the specs on your old trailer, they'll build you a boat trailer out of aluminum I-beams, whatever axles you want it, whatever brakes you want on it. It is amazing what they did for us. AMW Trailers out of Panama City, Florida.
Yeah, that's right down there by Neil and Ashley. I seen it. Neil pointed it out to me when we went to eat. And I was like, that's where John Kane got his trailer. So
you talk and amazing people to go in there and deal with. I went and picked it up, and they were awesome. All right, so we wanted a trailer. We're happy with the boat hull. Jessica and I are affiliated with the Andalusia Marine. They are great to us. We've been on their pro staff. So they're a Yamaha dealer. Andalusia Marine is. Well, the boat came with a Mercury on it. So I could see the steam coming out of the owner's ears when I came in there with that boat with the Mercury on it. And, it was a lot of jokes made, and eventually the Yamaha got hung on the back of the Ranger. So now we've got a Mercury 250 Pro XS we're about to put for sale.
I'm going to share the picture.
Yeah, so we got the Yamaha put on the back of the Ranger, and
There you go. Right there.
Yeah, there she is. We got the breaker in and runner, and just starting to play with the prop a little bit. Got it over 70 already. Y'all, that's a 21-foot heavy boat. 70 miles an hour is a lot of fun on it, and it drives. You can take Scott Mitchell in a video of him driving his with his hands off the wheel. You can drive that one with your hands off the wheel at 70. And Jessica said, but I think I could get 75 out of it when I start to play with the props a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's moving for that heavier boat. People that's been on the water, that's flying.
I'm not I'm not a person to drive a boat fast, but I just had to see that I could bump it up that high today. There wasn't any chine walk in it because that's
the big deal. That's when you don't realize it's like riding an F-250 running 90. You're like you don't feel it. That's the when them boats are all over the place. You're like, man, your butt's strawed up and it's no good. But
that chine, if you are ever in a boat with someone that doesn't know how to drive a boat and it starts to chine walk,
oh God, it scares you.
You need to reach over there and choke them and tell them to get out of it and let you off the boat if they're going to keep doing that, because that's how you crash.
Oh yeah, I've been with some guys.
I'm not saying I know how to drive through a chine walk and keep it going, but I've dealt with them doing it. The worst thing you can do if a boat starts chine walking on you, do not get out of the throttle, trim the motor down. That's how you slow down out of it. I guess that's a safety tip for tonight. But
that's why they put the trim on the wheel, the blinker trim, the buttons. That's why they do that, where you up and down. So.
Well, Jessica just asked why. So when a boat starts to chine walk, it's gotten up and the boat's coming out of the water and it's starting to try to grab water on each side, and it gets to skimming each side. The back of the boat's barely touching the water in the back, and eventually you can drive it out of it and get it where just the foot's in the water, and you get the max speed out of the boat. Well, if you let out of the engine while it's chine walking, it can make it dart to either side or make the back of the boat jerk. So what you want to do,
drop down or anything, like you said.
Right. So what you want to do is trim down, and when you trim down, that puts the boat back in the water, and that's how you slow down. You don't want to slow down by letting out of the throttle when one's chine walking.
Right. You don't want to test your kill switch and your life jacket out by doing that. I mean, and especially a lighter boat. I've been in some boats, Bullets, Allisons that, and of course the good thing is most of those people that owns those boats know how to drive them. But, I've been in one that, and, you'll see them kind of snatch the wheel and they'll get it out of that chime sometimes. But people learn to drive their boats. And luckily I ain't got to worry about my big slab sled out there. It ain't going to do any chime walking. It may hop a little bit. I just trim it down and keep going. But that's a good safety tip, John. You're right. I mean, a lot of people, didn't grow up on the water, never been, they buy a boat. I see Waylon's comment.
What did it say?
Waylon said, if you're not first, you're last. But Chad's right. Your first instinct's to let off the gas. That's just like, when a trailer starts, fishtailing on, you want to push the brakes and you can't do that. Let off the gas, let it slow down. So
that's everybody's first instinct is to get out of the throttle, but you want to put that boat back in the water so you've got control of it.
Got that V, the V. That's what it sets down instead of jumping. But hey, let's talk.
Don't go that fast.
That's right. Yeah, just go 45. You ain't even got to worry about it. That's what I'm doing.
To do is not go.
I'm going. Neil and I went to. We went to Lake Talcon Saturday, and
let's go over that, Shane.
We'll talk about it. It's a funny story. I donated an iPhone 15 down there to some crops. No, I'll tell you the funny story. It's kind of funny. We got up to our fishing spot. We catching some fish, and they're not really biting a lot. And we were gonna move, and Ashley had texted me, and I texted her back and kind of half butt put it in my pocket. And normally, my little boat I kept in my right pocket all the time. I need to keep it under my seat at the console. I mean, to be real about it. But so I jump up to grab the trolling motor. It hits my thigh, hits my shin, and takes the end of the phone hits the end of my flip flop, and rockets off just bounces off like a ball. And there goes my phone in the darn water, 17 foot down. And I was like, what was that? And Neil goes, what was that? I said, never mind, text Ashley and tell her I ain't got a phone because I just punted that thing in the water. So nothing you can do about it, but really kind of giggle about it and try to go catch some fish. But we ended up catching some good fish. I imagine there's 25, 28 fish down the bottom of that cuss, a big 75 quart cooler. And we had some fun and after we waited out a storm and caught some fish, we had to use a little small 30-second jig below a weight like that rig I showed to get them to do anything. They're so picky, but it happened.
Shane, can you grab that picture from that post with that boat right quick? I want to talk.
Which one? This one right here?
Yes.
Explain what we're looking at right here.
All right. So we've got a lake here that's got cypress trees out in the lake. And you can tell how it goes up there. Those fish, all right, so we had a willow fly hatch.
Bunch of them.
Yes. So those fish are way up, like right below the surface, waiting. That is an actual cypress tree that is coming up above the surface. And the willow flies were like stuck to the tree all over the limbs. I'm like, if you went up there and hit it, they would just 100 would fall out. So those fish are sitting there waiting on dinner is what I said. They're sitting there waiting for a willow fly to fall out of that tree. And it's brim, it's channel catfish, it's little largemouth bass, it's sand bass, it's bluegill, it's crappie, it's everything sitting there under.
They sitting on go.
Right. All right. So I was trying to throw a 30 seconds on it. I started with a 16 because that's what I was fishing with. And I got to thinking to myself, I said, I'm going to take a little tiny gray jig and I put it on a cork above it and I dropped it down about 8 inches. The water was real muddy.
Yeah, I seen. You see it at the top of the picture. It's thing, buddy. So
I would throw out past the tree and then bring the rod tip where I could bring it back under the tree with that cork. And I had that jig just about 8 inches under that cork. And I was smoking everything. Channel cats, bluegills.
You're laying it too.
It was on. And there's a bunch of those trees around the edge of the lake and in the lake. And when those willow flies are doing that, I don't know if they do that, I'm sure they do wherever you have willow fly hatches. But you can take that jig and really slow it down and just barely roll it through those fish when they're just barely under the surface on a willow fly hatch and have a big time.
Yeah, that's a cool picture. I mean, man, you think they don't know it? It makes me want to throw something up there and hit it with a tree and let them fall and see what they do to them.
Oh, they'll annihilate them. They're waiting on them. They're just sitting there.
Oh, goodness. That's funny. Let's see. I'm trying to see. Ashley said it was her fault. It wasn't her fault.
What is it? Oh, the jig I was using was a 32 ounce little hair jig from Limits Tackle. TJ.
It's a little, I got one on that little rig of mine. It's back here. You used a gray one. This is that little C rig I was showing everybody yesterday. But you were using a gray one of those. That's a little 30-second little.
But I'll take that thing, like when I was fooling those fish, and I cut it down, even the tail. It's barely off the back of the hook. That way, when those bluegills, a bluegill will come up and grab the back of the bait, and you'll miss it. So I'll cut the hair down all the way to the back of the hook. So when they grab
was it a gray ghost, John?
Yeah.
Yeah,
when they grab it, they get the stinger put in them.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if I got a gray ghost tied on. I may not. I don't. I thought I did, but I don't. I don't have one tied on. I mean, that's what I usually have tied on. I usually have one of those tied on this time of year.
Yeah. Steve Goncalves, I always pronounce his name incorrect.
Alves, yes.
From Limits Tackle, he ties a little. He calls it a gray ghost. You can get them in any weight you want to get them in. I had them, and I just cut it down to where it was tiny because I was wanting to catch those bluegills just as much as I was wanting to catch anything else. They were under there with those crappie and the other fish, and I got some little clippers, some pit bull clippers on my boat, and I cut the hair off the back of that hair jig to where it was just off the bend of the hook. And when it was under that cork, I could just get it I could do it as slow as I wanted to do it.
That's cool. I wouldn't think, because you said they were shallow. I mean, they were.
You can see in that picture that they're all the way up to the surface.
Yeah,
they're sitting on go.
Yeah, I see them right there. I mean, they're sitting in that first foot line.
Yeah, well, they're jockeying for position on the next willow fly that falls on.
I guess they hear them and smell them and see them, or whatever they do, however they find it. But they know it. I mean, you said you had 9 hatches last year.
We did. This past one was the biggest one we've had this year. It was thick.
I wish I could get that picture from Travis's page. I'm going to while you're talking. I'm finna get on there and.
For those of y'all that don't know, we're talking about willow fly hatches. Some people call them mayflies. They come up out of the mud, and sometimes they can have the larva could have been laid up to 9 years ago, and they come out of the mud and they'll hatch, and they're little bugs that they only live 3 years. 3 days. And they'll come up, they'll come to lights, they'll come to trees, anything they can land on and spawn or that and reproduce again. And then I guess their larva falls back in and the cycle starts again. Last year we had 9 fly hatches, which was probably the most that I've seen since we lived here on the water. But this year, yesterday was one of the biggest ones we've it was the biggest one we've had this year.
I took a screenshot off Travis's page, and I'll show you the one. This is off his front bumper. It's a video, so I took a screenshot of the video where I can add it on here. It's crazy. Get back on here. It is unbelievable. I'm sure it goes down there like y'all too, but I just took a picture. This is his bumper on his F-150, and he said they had to go in the house. He said they got so thick. It was I want y'all look at the front bumper of that truck. I mean, it's covered.
They like the lighter colors. Like we added on a part to our boathouse, and the wood on it was lighter than the other wood, and they would go to it. Like you couldn't touch with your finger and not touch a fly at one hatch last year. Matter of fact, Jessica and I did a video. We were out trying to fish for popping bugs and catch them, with a fly rod, and it got to the point you couldn't breathe without trying to inhale one of them. And Jessica finally said, "That's enough."
Yeah, but it makes you wonder. They feed on them all night long, and then your butt gets out there at daylight thinking you're gonna do something. So I'm sure they're doing. You think they're hatching down the Tensas? That's what Steven was saying. He's had some big hatches down the Tensas Delta. I guarantee. I wonder if they got to be doing it too. I'm sure.
It moves the fish, and it affects the bite when you have a willow fly hatch.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
We'll catch some of our fish, and they'll look like they've got eggs in them. They've eaten so many.
Oh yeah, them bass in my lake used to eat dragonflies. They'd be hanging out of their mouth.
But they'll eat so many here that I think it's one of the best protein sources they have here because we don't have as many shad as other places in the state.
Tommy said his dad told him they used to take his dad and them used to beat the bushes with paddles and knock them in the water and fish for bluegill. I'd do that and probably hit a wash nest.
Yeah. Well, here, if they're staged up, you don't need to hit it. I want to throw something in there. That's why I wanted to slow that jig down so much with that cork, is because
that was a good idea. So you put it like that. You put it like this.
Yeah, I could see them, so I knew they were there.
And that clear water, they just see it moving, and if it looks like the same profile, it's gone.
Dirty water, yeah, dirty.
Yeah, that water's dirty. So Man, that's some fun fishing. You'd had your kid right there, it'd have been fun. Because you catch it, like you said, you catch everything in the lake.
Yeah, anything. They just sit. I mean, they all know that's the dinner bell right there. They're looking up.
Oh yeah. So hey, we're getting into. I guess we're getting in the dog days of summer. I mean, it's August. It's August the 8th. I mean, it's kind of crazy. I mean, I started looking back at my memories, and I started slowly catching more fish towards the end of August and September than, 2 years ago when me and her and went over there and we caught all them fish at Miller's Ferry. It was crazy. So I think it'll start picking up, I hope, because, I mean, I know the water's as hot as it's going to be, but it's like it's slowly transitioning. That, like, I know it's early fall, but, it's supposed to cool off I think this weekend or next week, or, I mean, it's cool off some. I don't know how much it's supposed to, but I think it's supposed to be in the 60s this weekend.
Wow.
At night, you know what I'm saying? 67. I don't know about down there where we are, but I'm hoping to keep up with it. So, see some of these comments. Mike Leckins is on here. Appreciate Mike working. Watching, working. I know he's been working a lot. He opened a restaurant down there in Thomasville. It's one that's been there, but he reopened it, so he's been busy. So, let's see. I don't think I'm missing any questions.
While Shane's looking at that, we want to just say again, if you have a child or a grandchild or a niece, nephew, anything, you can make it down to Hubbard's Landing this weekend, Saturday. They're having a kids event. Every kid that shows up will get a reel and rod, and all you gotta do is sign up, and they'll get fed. They'll get a snow cone.
Yeah, they're going. All kinds of stuff going on.
Yeah, they get in, they get signed up, and they get a chance at all the prizes that'll be there. Just trying to get kids involved in the outdoors. That's what Dippy Outdoors does. So if you can come this weekend down to South Alabama, Hubbard's Landing, and you can bring a child, you would get to see a great event.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Last year I scheduled some guide trips and didn't make it. And then Jessica and yourself, y'all won the kids tournament last year, right?
We did.
Because y'all donated the money back. I remember that. Which I had just put it right back in the kitty, and I'm looking forward to it. Like I said,
there's little bitty fish there.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of small fish, but hey, I'm not mad at them. My buddy Shane Welch if he went down there, he'd get in trouble. He likes keeping them. He likes them a little small. He'll start throwing them in the live well. You watch it. You got to watch him. So.
I'm all about a whole fryer. I'll fry him
up.
Hey,
I'm a 9-incher don't bother me either. I
was probably a teenager before I learned how to fillet fish. I was always
man, I'd go home and have a scale on the back of my hair, and where'd that come from? Where I've been out there with a spoon and cutting it, my grandma, we couldn't fillet nothing. You would get in trouble. Tommy said take some video. We'll have plenty of video, Tommy. I hope to. Man, my GoPro camera is in the. I need to charge the juice boxes up. That remind me. I'm glad he said that.
I'm glad you just said that.
I'm making a packing list.
I need to charge. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, Tommy, because I need to charge my juice boxes up. Mike Leckins said plenty of fish down there. His nephew caught 62 days this week. So that's Scott D said he's bringing the drone, which is good. Bill Lawley's tuned in. Appreciate Bill. I'm looking forward to seeing Scott and everybody. John's going to show me around a little bit tomorrow. So I'm going to drive the Rayco industrial truck down there and park it, and pull my boat and go run around and see what we can find. And hopefully, is there a cell phone signal down there, John, or is it?
Oh,
I wouldn't know.
It could be touch and go.
I got you. Well,
you got AT&T, but down there you can stretch a motor out as much as you want to. You can run the area Jessica and I fished last year.
Yeah, y'all went a good little run. You told me.
Really good run to where we fished, because it gets everybody put in there where the event's held, and but this year, we're gonna fish closer to the ramp, you know, so we can. Not, I mean, I've never had these kids on the boat before. I don't know how they're gonna do, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Going and the kids that we're taking. So we're gonna make it where if we got to, we just ease along till we get where we're gonna fish. But the biggest thing, if you do come and you decide to take your boat, is please make sure you got a GPS of some kind on your boat.
You said a hummingbird.
All kind of canals and backwater and stuff, you can get turned around. Everything starts looking the same.
Well, you got cypress trees and swamps, and well, it does. I mean, William White. So, what town is close to Hubbard's Landing?
Bay Minette.
Bay Minette. There you go. Okay.
Yeah. If you want to stay, that's where you would need to stay. Well, they've got some places there at Hubbard's, but they've probably been long gone now.
Yeah, been booked up, right?
Yeah. They're probably gone the year before, honestly, because people plan ahead for this event.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay with. I think I'm gonna stay with Scott Mitchell, but Scott Mitchell, it's an hour drive to his house because you got to go all the way down and drive around Dolly Parton Bridge or something. He said it's not far, but you got to go all the way down and go back up. So
I tell you what's pretty cool about fishing down there. If you've never done it before, anybody that's been down 65, like going toward Mobile, has driven over those bridges and seen the water, you know.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Come over those rivers and those creeks and stuff, and you're like, gosh, dang, that'd be pretty cool fishing under the interstate. Well, if you go down there, you actually can drive all the way to the interstate and see the things that you've ridden over before.
Yeah, I've
so it
over those several times.
It is very neat to see, and it's just beautiful. The scenery down there is amazing. You get to see, if you never really seen many alligators, you'll definitely get to see one of those.
Yeah.
And the mix of fish, you know, they got mullet that push up in there. All kind of stuff pushes up in there. It's definitely a neat experience.
Yeah, that's good. So a lot of creeks, main river, just a lot of backwater, you know, right there when you get on the river. Or I haven't looked at the maps.
Yeah, well, it's a lot of sloughs and backwater and little cuts. I mean, you start getting, I guess, what they consider the Delta area. You know, when you get that, you're gonna get fingers off of fingers, and you know, there's a lot of houseboats down there. There's some matter of fact, there's some old battleships down there you'll pass that people have bought and put on the side of the river. It's pretty. I mean, that's some neat.
That's cool. I wish you hadn't said that. Ashley be wanting to check that out. She'll be able to check all that old stuff out. So. I guess I see people talking about the tide figures in down there. Mike said he likes it when it's falling. So,
well, it's black crappie mainly down there, and so you know they like moving water. So,
yeah. Tommy wants to know about the update. Now, did I tell you, John? I didn't tell you today when I talked to you. I called Garmin and was asking about the update, and I said, "Hey, man, I'm trying to update this." I said, "I've only updated it one time, and Tommy done it one for me." And then he said, "Man, I'll tell you what, I'll just send you an SD card." And I was like, "I don't mind buying one. Garmin's mailing me an SD card, ain't charging me a dime with a new update on it." So
their customer support and Humminbird customer support is amazing.
I couldn't believe it. He's like, "It's $30." He said, "I'll mail it to you." Then just ask him my address, and I was going to give him, didn't pay shipping or nothing. So I'll have a GPS maps one. Hell, it'll do all ours. So.
I might want to borrow it. Well, no, I can't borrow it on that. But
you can do it. Yeah, you can. It goes for your 8412.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, it'll do 84, 86s. It's all that series. So
I learned my lesson about doing an update right before you go somewhere to fish.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. You know, several years ago, all of us got bit pretty good with that one update, and it was. But I heard this one does away with a little stitching on the bottom, clears some dead spots out, even in the old 32 like I'm running. So.
There is it. Put up Waylon Browder's.
Yep, that's a great thing. I've got 6 life jackets in my boat, I think. I got 4, yeah, 6. So
Jessica had it written down as a thing on her list to make sure we took care. We're taken care of tonight. Bug spray, GoPro, and life jacket.
I'm glad you said that. I got some bug spray in there. I'm sure I got some vanilla extract too. If them dab burn thinking gnats is around, so I don't want to be eating that. So look at there. Patrick Garner said I found a CrappieKast sticker yesterday. I dropped a few at the ranch store. I sure did leave some with Jeff. That shows you how there ain't many people crappie fishing down there because I dropped them off Saturday. So I left some of that in Delusion Marine. I'm gonna give John and them a few. I got to get some made. Jake made these kind of on the fly guys, and I bought 100, and they don't last long. So I'm gonna have to go up there and get several. So they're not too expensive, but they're good stickers. They're laminated, so they don't fade. Good to put on your boat. You can put them on whatever you like, but I'm gonna have to get some more made. So
if you ever see one, tag CrappieKast.
yeah, oh yeah. Hey, post it. Hey, take a picture of it, post it. It's
share us in a post when you do see one. That's a pretty cool thing. You know, we appreciate it.
Yeah. That's exactly right. That vanilla extract mixture, that's what Kevin Hicks was saying. It works. It sure does. They get them off of you. I've ate my share of them things. I do not want to eat any more.
If it Seminole, it'll work anywhere.
Yeah, Seminole's got a lot of those, what they call them, Neil calls them hydrilla gnats and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
You know? There's different names for them, but the Malthus has got some big around the end of your pinky, and they'll hit you in the nose and the ear. I mean, them guys were using those bear nets down there, like where you hunt bear, a head net, fishing. I was like, man, I ain't wearing that. But I started using that. Oh,
Let's
Steve,
go away.
okay, now let's get something away. Tell them about it.
What number, babe?
7.
Number 7, y'all better type it in.
www.fishoutlaw.com. The seventh one that Shane sees on there.
It's a shirt.
As a moderator, we'll get one of these shirts. Outlaw Crappie Pole shirt.
Number 7. Okay, I'm sure we got one by now. They flying.
Yeah. We hope to be getting some getting to a point where we can give some rods away again.
That's right.
But we're about to run out of the gear that I got from Amos and John Payne, who is the new owner of Outlaw Crappie Pole. Was it Memorial Day week? Yeah, it was Memorial Day.
That's right. That was the weekend you got all them rods. That's right.
And so if you're around our area and want to go pick one up, stop by Andalusia Marine.
We got a winner by now. I'm sure I'm going to refresh this thing twice. Since I'm the moderator, guys, I explain this every time. My order may be different than yours because mine takes it as they come in as fast as the comment registered to StreamYard. So I promise you I ain't cheating anybody out of nothing. So we had some people in the past get all mad thinking I'm number 7, but my account, matter of fact, when I shut this off, they shuffle anyway. All the comments shuffle. So
because I've gone before, Shane, trying to find a comment to respond back to someone, and it would be toward the end of the show, and it might throw it up toward the first of the show. When 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mark Brown looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep, Mark Brown right there, number 7. Also, Mark, he sent me that picture the other day. Of that fish he caught. I think it's in Georgia. I think he's in Georgia.
And be sure to send us your address.
Yeah, Mark, he'll message me or message you, and I'll forward it to you.
Oh,
appreciate everybody sharing all that, man. There's a bunch of comments right there.
We appreciate it. I mean, it's good that Outlaw Crappie Pole is good to us, and will donate things for us to give back, but we also use their stuff. So I mean, it's Shane, I put a message out there on Facebook this week to try to find somebody to do a replica of
I think that which fish is that? When you called it Holt?
I caught it in Alabama.
Never mind.
It was.
I wasn't sure. Somebody asked me and said, I forget who I was with.
The one I caught at Holt was either like 301 or 302.
I couldn't remember. I know you both flipped it.
I caught this fish, and it was 17 and a half inches long. And the post I said it was 312, and I looked back, it was actually 311, but that's still a monster, 17 and a half inch crappie. And so I was working on getting a replica made of it, and that kind of backed out. And so I had somebody send me a post about pure country taxidermy that everybody uses out in Arkansas. I think it's Arkansas.
I've seen several people, a white something. Is that what it was, John?
Yeah, but my buddy Josh Henderson sent me one from down that a lot of people in Florida use, and so I sent him a message, and I'm like, how much for this replica mount? $1,000. I said, well, I got this picture. I'll just stick with it right now. I'm not paying $1,000 for a crappie.
Yeah. You know, that mount that Eric has at his home of those blackfish, all of them's over 3 pounds or right at it. That 19-pound stringer he caught, man, I don't know who done that, but I think it's the same people you're talking about.
Yeah, well, no. Pure, I can't remember, Pure Country or whatever it's called. Harper's Country. Anyway.
I seen the comments. So.
Yeah, all right. So, no, that's who did Eric's. The one I'm talking about does a lot of saltwater stuff. A friend of mine, Josh, he put a picture out there about using the one he was talking about that does a lot of saltwater stuff, and that's what I was talking about. Said they wanted $1,000 for a replica. I was like, oh, I got to
out, son. You can get a deer mount of $400, $500.
Yeah. Oh, the other 3 pound blackfish I got mounted. It's a skin mount, but I'll let that 311 go.
Okay. I got you. I'm looking forward to it. I don't like to rush my life away, but I've got several places that's hopefully I can get me a 3-pounder this year. We got, Harold caught a 286. That was the biggest one that's been in my boat. And I caught a bunch of 260s and pushing 270s. I say a bunch, a few, and never cracked that 3-pound mark. So I'm gonna give it hell this year for sure. So
I busted some big fish this past spring.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you caught a 3-pounder here. Y'all went to Grenada and caught those ones you have on the wall. That was that last year or year before?
That was year before. And then I caught a 301 or 2 at Holt.
That's right. I remember that. They there too. There's some big fish. I think this year maybe we'll get to see some, I hope. So when do you think the best time of year to catch that 3-pounder? When is like, I need to do it, generally speaking from your area up to here, when do you think the best time of year to catch a 3-pounder is? A month and, around the same?
I'd say the last week in February to the middle of, probably the middle of March.
Right. That's when you think,
this year when I had one stringer at one place that was over 19 pounds in the spring.
I remember
7 fish.
I remember that.
Yeah, that was a 311.
I remember the video.
There was another 3 in there. That was a 286. It was just boom, boom. I called Jessica. I said, I told you should have took all work. And she's
I remember you was pumping me up, and I knew where you were going. I remember that, and you sent me
I told her. I said there's no wind. I said, you know what I did last week there? And I said, you need to take off work, and she did, and she's like, ugh.
So they were just sitting right on the surface waiting on you, wasn't they, Johnny? Oh man, that people don't understand them. As I'm learning to see them, when you first see fish that size, you're like, eh. Then you're like, hold on just a second,
They are hard to catch now. That water's clear.
Oh yeah.
It's there. You got to do everything right. There's no dipping. There once that fish sees that bait, if you do anything wrong, you're not catching it. He didn't get that big. She didn't get that big for a reason.
That's right. Yeah, they're not just going to jump up and grab it. You're right. You're exactly right. Everything's got to be lined up perfect and all that stuff.
Travis said, "I bet you don't catch one of Hubbard's."
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah,
You don't know, man. I mean, probably. I mean, not Saturday.
There's probably one out there somewhere.
But what I'm saying, there's a few white crappie there, and there's black crappie there. There might be that one hybrid that's out there, and shallow that nobody's caught.
Oh yeah, you don't never know. I know that Three Rivers place puts out some big ones. I've seen them. I think that's what it's called, isn't it?
I don't know. I've never been there.
I can't remember. I know Mitchell fishes there. I know that there's some big ones down that way, but I don't ever fish that far down because how far at Hubbard to the coast? It's not very far, is it?
Oh, it's not. I mean, Bay Bonnet. If you go down that way, Bay Bonnet, that's Baldwin County. Baldwin County is
okay.
The county that Orange Beach is in.
Got you. Scott D said, "No fishing Three Rivers." I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to reverse psych y'all.
Hey,
you don't think ain't nobody driving down there in the middle of nowhere, Scott? You ain't gonna worry about it, man.
A good game plan could be, you could just come down there tomorrow night, hit the Floribama, and show up at the ramp and be ready to roll.
I've been there. Hey, I've been there. Hey, I've got dropped off at a bass tournament one time. I couldn't even back the boat in. My buddy was like, "What's wrong with you?" So, man, don't ask. Just let's go. I couldn't even back the boat in. It was bad. Ooh, I don't miss them days at all.
Yeah. Hubbard's Land.
I do not miss them days at all. Hey, speaking of, I'm not talking about, Floribama, but I'm loading a bunch of water up now because water and Gatorades, I got to remember to pack all that stuff. And ice. I froze up some jugs, those Minute Maid jugs. I tell you, those Minute Maid little sugar-free jugs, they're the best thing to freeze. Solid. They're not. They don't take up a lot of room. Travis, right? I have to take a Uber. You see, Travis, he's trying to reverse psychology too. Where's Three Rivers?
I know where Travis is headed Saturday.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm just not going to run that far with somebody else's kids.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, it's hopefully Scott Mitchell shows me around there. Somebody's going to show me around Sundays. I ain't got to worry about. Somebody's going to show me where Three Rivers is or wherever the heck it is on my way back here. Hopefully Sunday. I hope so. I'm trying to make sure I ain't missed nothing. I don't think I missed any questions. We've basically been talking about the kids' tournament and everything else. Really, we'll get this out. I think it's going to be a huge success. We'll be sharing pictures next Thursday and videos. Hopefully, if I can get them to download. And
Shane, you need to make sure that you try Paul's Jambalaya.
Okay. Oh yeah. Don't worry. I'm 270 pounds. Well, I'm a little below 270 this week. I'll probably back up by then.
and his pasta salad too. Woo.
Yeah, that's never mind. I'm gonna blow it out this weekend. That gummit.
Oh, it'll be. They'll have barbecue, jambalaya, snow cones. It's a big boy paradise.
It's this Saturday, daylight, Hubbard's Landing.
Yeah.
Hubbard's Landing. It is the 10th of August.
Probably start way in around noon, 11:30 noon. So
yeah. Hopefully we'll get some good weather. I don't know what. Yeah, there you go, Scott. Thank you for saying that. Matter of fact, I'm glad you said that because I got to throw a chair out of my other truck into my work truck. She just wrote down chairs or something. Just
Give me a packing list right now.
Yeah, hey, that. Thank you, Scott, for mentioning that. I need to
try to leave here in the morning about 4:30, somewhere in there. Headed down there to make sure I can find plenty of fish. I just want to have multiple places, for those kids to fish. I've been down there before, but I fish on a river system.
Oh,
They'll
yeah, and stuff silts in, changes every year, and stuff disappears. And Demopolis is the king of that. You'll get on some fish on a tree. But February come and that tree no longer exists. So next. Kevin gets to stay, let's see. Somewhere we could stay Friday night that's close. He said he's at football practice, missed some of the show. I don't know.
Kevin Baymanette will be your closest bet.
Oh, Baymanette's not too terribly far, is it, John?
No, not at all. Jessica and I stayed there a couple of years ago at a hotel that it's really remote, Kevin, around there. So you'll have to drive in. From there, I think you could probably be at the landing from the hotel in like 25, 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's not a big deal. Like I said, I just, get a bunch of kids getting to see a bunch of crappie rigs and talk to people that do it a lot. I mean, that's going to be fun. So, you see Ashley's comment right there?
Yeah.
Problem.
I got plenty of this packed. I'm getting sensitive in my old age, so for sure. I'm getting worse. Getting worse, man. Well, let's see. I think we covered about everything. Mike Lecken says Travis has flagging going to 3 riggers, but he's supposed to take it down.
Kevin is similar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure, man. All that's the country down there, buddy. There's a lot of good people from down there. You don't realize. I don't realize how many people I know that's from down that way. Till you. I'm looking forward to meeting a bunch of people you get to see and talk to, and
we're Jessica and I. We're bringing some CrappieKast shirts.
okay.
We're limited in sizes, of course, and we're gonna try to give some away to people. The 2 kids that are going with us, they're getting 2 CrappieKast shirts and 2 Andalusia Marine shirts. If you see us and ask, want one, ask us about a size, and if we got it, we'll hook you.
Yeah, that's good. What was I going to ask? I see you talking about mosquitoes and gnats. I was looking at. I got a thermocell up there I need to pack up. I was just sitting there thinking about all this stuff, this trip, as we were sitting here talking. I'm glad we do this show because it reminds me of a lot of stuff I need to grab,
Shane, like I said at the start of the show, Shane, I was like, man, this almost feels like tournament fishing again.
Yeah, John was telling me, getting everything right. You're exactly right. Packing your clothes, packing all the necessities. I mean, it is. I'm looking forward to it for sure. It'll be fun watching them kids, and hopefully I can get some in the boat. Maybe I can grab a couple and just ease out there. They may know the water better than me.
Yeah. We didn't get talked much about a lot of specifics with fishing.
Yeah.
Right now, just a current update. Here in South Alabama, the water is very hot.
Oh yeah.
I'd love to tell you a temperature. Somebody could probably go back at my last post and look at it and see what it was. But the thermocline's pushing the fish around. They're in it or above it. So find it and navigate your way from there. The fish here are stacked on stuff, like right there in the thermocline or above it.
Yeah.
Here it's 9 feet, 8.5 to 9 feet, depending on which part of the lake you're on. So if you're going out fishing and want a place to start, I would go out there with a down engine if you've got it, and find a thermocline and adjust from there.
That's right. That's everywhere. I'm looking forward to. Neil and I are headed to Grenada next weekend. We'll talk about it next show.
Jessica's got a great tip.
Fishing license month.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. Glad you said that, Jess. It does expire. My tag comes out. I got to buy a stinking tag in Jefferson County. It hurts your feelings, boy. Whew. Lord have mercy. But yeah, fishing license. I buy a hunting license, fishing license, all kind of stuff. David Barnes said, send me a cash out in a PM so I can send a few dollars help. There you go. Appreciate it, David. Thank you. He always tunes in. I sure appreciate it. So, well, I'm looking forward to this kids tournament. I know we talked about a lot of it, but hey, it is a big deal to all of us. And y'all donated money towards it, and I think this thing's gonna get bigger and bigger every year. But thanks to donations like from these guys and Jon and Jessica's hard work and Dippy's and all the people that are involved. So I think it's gonna be fun, and we'll be sure to share a bunch of pictures and stuff. That way you get to see your efforts and your money, and for sure. So y'all hang out, Jon and Jess. We're gonna end this thing, and hey, we'll try to update y'all. I'll try to make some posts if I got a signal down there, and we'll try to update you on the kids tournament. And congratulations to Mark Brown winning the shirt. He'll message me if he hadn't already, and I'll get his address. So appreciate all y'all tuning in. We had a big crowd, had 70 people on here at one time. So a lot of people sharing outlaw crappie fishing. That stuff, we appreciate it. So y'all be good. We'll see y'all next Thursday live at 7 p.m. And we'll have an update of the tournament and hopefully a little fishing updates too. Thank y'all.